So first off, man, freestyle flow, here I go.
Nah, I was just
No, you have your freestyle corporate flow.
yeah.
I know I do that. I dabble. I dabble. I freestyle, man. Ain't no thing to me. Four bars. Driving in foreign cars. You already know who I are. You already know who I'm is. I'm about that biz. Get my cheese like whiz. Just something light.
Okay, that's hard.
Something light.
So Caitlyn Clark declaring for the WNBA draft has resulted in the rise of prices in the WNBA with their tickets. Besides Taylor Swift, we know how much y'all love Taylor Swift. Caitlyn Clark has been one of the hottest names in sports in 2024. Her year has been nothing short of spectacular. She's broken the NCAA all-time scoring record, along with announcing that she will be declaring for the 2024 WNBA draft, which has sent waves through the sports world. Ticket prices are already rising, and the good folks in Indy are already getting her throne ready. With this much attention and money floating around so soon, it's eerily similar to the arrival of rookies like Patrick Ewing and Pistol Pete Maravich as the way they were able to pace the way in groundbreaking deals that matches their popularity. So we want to break down how the Caitlyn Clark economy is moving at the moment. Indiana is catching Caitlyn Clark fever as they likely number one overall pick. Since Caitlyn has declared for the WNBA draft, the average ticket price to see the Fever in action next season has more than doubled from last season, jumping from $60 to $140. Wow.
What do you think of that? How do you think they'll be taken? Pause. Like, we talked about, like, obviously comparing her to the Patrick Ewing and all those type of situations, but is it kind of risky to really move up, the price of, I'll equate it to some New Balances. Remember New Balances used to be like the little $70 holler? And now we went to the store. I'm like, damn, I fucked around and paid $200 for some New Balances. Do you think the world is ready to really take that crazy jump? Is Caitlyn Clark, obviously, and I think it'll be the first real steps, because when we compare to Pistol Pete, one thing I want to have a conversation about is, like, could she be the first $1 million player on court? Where you discuss the salary, you discuss, like, the popularity, and if she's able to affect it this way. We talk about Caitlyn Clark, and we talk about Juju Watkins coming 3 or 4 years later. Could this be like the first real couple steps for a player to rearrange the game, especially from a salary standpoint? You look at Patrick Ewing back in 1985, he had David Falk negotiated the biggest rookie deal ever. And that was based off how crazy the pre-order ticket sales went in New York. And the popularity she's going to bring with her. She's got Gatorade, she has Nike, she has State Farm, she has some of, like, the top endorsers, and she's going to be on TV regardless. And I think, like, when you break down the economy of it, people are traveling from thousands and thousands of miles away to watch her play. Is there any correlation in being able to her kick down the door and keep raising the value of an athlete similar to that of, like I said, Pat Ewing or Pistol Pete?
I think it's perfect timing and location. And, just coming from All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis, Indiana is a huge basketball market. What'd you say? Basketball was invented in Canada, but it was what, Indiana? What's that? The phrase?
Yeah, it was invented in Canada. Was elevated in Indiana, basically. You know what I mean? It was
invented in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
but it was really started in Indiana, and their love of basketball and the way that Caitlyn Clark, just call a spade, the way she looks, her presence, coming from Iowa, Midwest, that culture of basketball wants to see. It's a perfect marriage, perfect match. I know back in the day when the NBA was first getting its footing, they drafted guys. You went to teams based on your regional location, based on the college that you came from. So Oscar Robertson played for University of Cincinnati, right? And then he played for the Cincinnati Royals. Pistol Pete, you talk about him, went to LSU. He went to New Orleans and played for the Jazz, right? So a lot of that, Georgetown, I know that's in D.C., but Pat Ewing he was a larger than than life figure. So him going to New York, which is a perfect marriage. I mean, Magic going to LA with the way he played the game of basketball. All that matched up with Showtime. And so I think it's a great opportunity.
Are we at that point? That's what I'm saying. You're talking about certain moments where it really changed. Do you think we're at that point where this is going to be a whole nother stepping stone? Like,
I mean, look at the Vegas. The Aces, and the way that they be twerking when they with the trophy in the locker room, that's a Vegas vibe. You know?
Yeah, so I'm talking about like the realistic shit of it stands on its own. Like, do you feel me?
Yeah. I mean, more stats coming from it. You know, site traffic to the Fever homepage has spiked over 180% overnight. The average list price for Fever home opener spiked 303%. And fans, this is a crazy number. Fans will travel on average 314 miles to see Fever compared to 237 miles last year. Distance from Iowa City to Indy is 366 miles. So that's a crazy, that's an 80-mile push on average. 80 miles on average to go see a game is insane.
If Indianapolis gets a 4 seasons and like a Nobu or something because of Caitlyn Clark, that's when I would probably
you got something else.
Oh no, but I'm just saying, like
their version of a Nobu, their version of a 4 season. What would that be?
Of course, but I'm just saying, like, it sounds like shit when a big time player comes and construction start happening. Like, bro, I live in Ohio, bro. Cleveland looked like a piece of shit when Brown ain't there. When it's there, bro, the lights be on. You be like, God damn. Like you know what I'm saying?
So Indy gets a casino.
Oh, you should call it the Caitlyn Clark Casino. 3 teams.
Yeah. Triple C's.
Triple C.
Ain't that a rap group? Rick Ross?
Triple C is a wrestler.
No, Triple C's is Rick Ross in them, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't listen to nobody named Triple C, but what else?
Does the rise in ticket prices help or hurt in this case? I don't think so. I mean, we saw what's happening in college basketball. Their ticket prices have risen on big moments. Ohio State versus Iowa was a huge game. Huge moment. Nebraska volleyball team, prices went up. They sold out the game. I mean, when is it ever bad? It's just a market.
Remember how big of like a Harrod Jimmer for that was, or like a JJ Redick. I don't know if JJ was that big, pause, but
Adam Morrison.
Yeah, Adam Morrison. When you sell that hype, and it's the sure thing. It's like, I mean, shit. If it doesn't go that way, that's the momentum still keep up, and like you know what occurs coming from like a high market of being like a talented college starter, just being like, yo, you're in the big leagues, you're not doing shit.
Well,
does that drop value of everything? You know what I'm saying? And that's the
great
truth,
question,
bro. It's coming from somebody that came in, player of the year, number 2 pick, and being like, like, bro, like, go from like 250 autographs and people be like, man, I need 25 to sign this shit, and it's like, nah, G, I'm straight.
No, I think it's, this situation is different, being that, it's tailored to the talent. Sometimes in the NBA, it happens where you got a talent and you just put them in the worst case environment, the worst environment they can possibly be in. The W being in 27, 28 years of existing, still, getting their footing, getting their traction. And it's coming. It looks like it's coming, with the National Women's Soccer team, the National Women's Soccer League, their TV deal, coming fresh off the World Cup hype, and, not just the hype, but the overall folks that showed up and showed out to support. And, soccer is the simplest sport. It's the simplest form. Everybody can play it. So maybe it's viewed differently from folks who feel like they can do it. I feel like basketball is making its way, and you got to ride the momentum, any opportunity you can. And if Caitlyn does struggle, it just shows of how great you have to be to play the game of basketball. Maybe some people will put even more respect on it. So I try to look at it both ways as like a positive.
It's real. No, that's a good point of taking it, man. Let's just hope it all plays out, because right now there's a lot of special things happening. It seems like things are clicking at the right time. And, if they're going to, if the pushes and momentum's going to keep up, I think this is where, where you stick with it.
Point Forward.
On this week's episode of Point Forward, we have another special guest from the comedy/influencer world. He had a 9-year NFL career, and now he's one of the biggest sports storytellers around. Please welcome multi-talented Spice Adams to the show.
Point Forward.
Today we are joined by Anthony Adams, aka Spice.
Where's my camera? This one right here.
I think that's it.
Man,
They all your
this thing.
cameras, big dog.
All of them. So as athletes, I think this coming after I retire, right? So as athletes, and we all retired now.
Retired.
Is that official?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, what you got? 20 in?
19.
19. Why you don't want to do 20?
Because
Scared?
the 18th and 19th year,
You scared to get 20? Real ones get 20. Real Springfield.
I got my reasons. No, but honestly, I think I found my niche outside of the game.
Okay.
That is going to be bigger than hopefully bigger than the things that I did on the court while I was playing.
I'm excited for you,
right?
then, man.
And so I'm very excited about that. But we hear it all the time, these conversations of how do athletes make that transition?
Yeah.
And for you to make the transition that you've had in terms of like people see you every single day.
Yeah.
Like I've been through like 45-minute, you get stuck in that phone. And my wife doesn't do social media.
Yeah.
But she knows who you are.
That's crazy.
Like, find this one.
That's crazy.
Oh, what you say now, Chuck? Or I like when you was like, the DJ ran that back flawlessly.
Oh, yeah. The sample songs,
He was like,
man.
wait, what is this? So just, and you've had some amazing write-ups about it, and you've had success with it. Layering on top of that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to definitely dive into that conversation for folks, who may be new to you. There aren't too many folks that will be, but, just that transition, for me as well, being a retired athlete, what's that like? But, going back to you playing football, do you think there was, when you were playing, what was it about yourself or how you conducted yourself were you always like this? And kind of like just growing up, like how did it come about? Like all these characters that you have, it's pretty amazing.
So I'm the only child. So I used to always do different things so people want to come back over to my house. Because I ain't have no brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? So somebody come over, I'll be like, hey, watch this. That's the crazy story, dog. You know what I'm saying? So they'll always be like, yo, let's go over to Spice house, man. We don't know what he gonna do next. Like I'll make myself fall down the flight of stairs. Like, I was like a fat stunt man, dog. So I've been this same size in height since I was like 12. Everybody's like, oh, you're going to be like 6'4", 6'5". I stayed at 5'11", dog, forever. So with me doing what I do now, it's like, it's a form of entertainment. Mm-hmm. And that's all I've been doing, like, since I was little. So football is a form of entertainment. So I had been doing that for 18 years with high school, college, and pro. So after I was done, I just, kind of stepped out on faith, started leaning on some of my teammates. They was like, dog, you should do it, bro. Like, put these videos out because we see how funny you are in the locker room, but nobody else really get a chance to do it. So I started making these videos, putting it up on YouTube. And then when I did my retirement video at White Castle, it went crazy. Of all places, right? Yeah. White Castle.
Why White Castle?
It was just random. I just so happened to have a suit on. And I had just turned in my retirement papers like the day before. So I was like, we was driving by. I was like, man, I'm hungry. Like, I'm gonna stop here at the White Castle.
Roll my stomach real quick.
And so my wife still had our baby. So she's 12 now. At the time, she was like, I don't know, a couple months old. And so we had just so happened had a camera on it. So I was like, I got an idea. Which every time I say that, my wife is like, oh my gosh, because she's like the complete opposite of me. Like she's just straight introvert. I'm like extrovert. I'm walking in like, hey, what up, everybody? And she's like, oh my gosh. For instance, I went to the Kevin Hart concert and dog, I had on a burgundy robe. I had on like a burgundy pants. I didn't even have a shirt on, dog. And I had on some glasses and like a burgundy hat. And I'm going to the Kevin Hart show.
Oh, real though? You was dead serious?
Dog. And my wife was like, oh, I had on some big block burgundy gators.
Wait, does she see this? When does she see the outfit? Did you see you put it on?
In the car.
What car did you?
When I walked out, like to get in the car, she like, come on, like, can you take a day off?
What car did you drive up there?
We was in an Escalade.
Oh, word? I thought you was in like a Broham.
No, I ain't had an old school this time, man. I'm borrowing that. I'll keep it simple, man. I like the cars I got. And we pull up, man. United Center, dog. I step out the ride, boom, like that. She like, oh my gosh. But I always been like this, bro. Always, man. It just so happened that social media came at the time when it did. Yeah. Like I was on Vine, and then Instagram had 15-second videos at the time, and then YouTube was taking off. So I just put everything up on social media, man, and just stepped out on faith, just put myself out there. Just like how we do in sports. Like every week, like, or every day for y'all, like you got to go out and perform. Yeah. And you just got to have trust in, you know, your athletic ability and how you've been lifting weights and stuff like that. So that's the same thing I do with the video.
Yeah, but you started off heavy, you know, from Detroit as a football player. You were able to go to Penn State, play for a legendary coach, Joe Paterno. Yeah. You're academic All-American, second team All-Big Ten.
Repeat that, because there's only 2 of us in here.
What do you mean?
Academic All-American.
Oh, yeah.
They be sleeping on that.
Yeah. I did a little something in the classroom, man.
Yeah, so,
you know?
But you said, you know, from the get-go, growing up in Detroit, you always kind of knew that you had tunnel vision. You knew you were going to, you know, get out of that environment and become something successful. So talk to us about what even growing up in Detroit was like.
Well, my mom did a good job of like sheltering me from like the other lifestyle that wasn't too far from my house, like, you know, all the gang activity and gambling and the drugs and all that type of stuff.
You went to King High School, right?
Yeah.
So any King High School.
You already know.
Yeah, I already know.
You go down any Martin Luther King Boulevard
you too, well, you went to King.
Hey, but the top schools in Detroit is Cass Tech, Renaissance, and King. Those are the top 3 schools, and you got to take tests to get into those schools. Yeah. So I took a test, I passed. And I never really wanted to play football. I wanted to play basketball because I'm from Detroit. So that's bad boys.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, John Sally, Dennis Rodman, like all that. And so, you know, I was just being bad boys, shoot the J and all that. Of course, it's going in. Stuff like that. But I was like always this big like this. So my mom was like, nah, you gotta play football. And then like I play Nintendo, I slammed the joystick down. Oh, Ma, they cheating. Yeah. She like, you gotta find a way to channel all of this energy. Like so she dropped me off one day at practice. Dog, I had on an outfit similar to this. I had on some jorts, had on like some white Air Force Ones, probably a tank top or something like that. I'm coach like, hey, go out there and run and walk and all this stuff. So ever since then, you know, we all got together, everybody doing jumping jacks together. I was like, dog, this is like a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got no brothers and sisters. Like, I feel like these is my brothers. So my mom came pick me up with their big hug. Mom, thank you, Mom. We got to be back 2:30 tomorrow. I want to get here by 2. You know, so ever since then, man, I loved it, man. So growing up in Detroit, man, my mom did a good job of, you know, keeping me out of it. And then, you know, my family, a lot of my uncles and aunts, you know, strung out on crack or in and out of jail. I ain't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't want to be the heartache for my mom. So I wanted to be like a bright spot. So I always was like textbook, did everything by the book.
Yeah. So talk about, you know, you left, you went to Penn State. You're able to go play for legendary Joe Paterno. What was the first couple of days like that, like, and you're playing for him for your career?
I had to learn a lot, man. Like, you know, it was so many rules. Like, you couldn't have any chin hair. I couldn't have a hat on like this. You couldn't no hats in the building. You had to be on time. Like, all type of stuff, man. So if he say we got meetings at 8 o'clock, you got to be there by 7:45. Really 7:44. If you're there at 7:45, you're late. So it's like, how's the saying go? To be on time is to be late.
If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late,
you forgot.
You're fired.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he pretty much had that attitude. And, you know, I was like, man, why we got all these rules, man? Like, I'm just getting my little goatee. I gotta cut my chin hair off, man. God, dog, it took me years to grow this. So, you know, growing up in Detroit and then having that type of structure and not really having no father figure like that, because my dad went to prison when I was like 4. So I had to look at the coaches as like my role models or father figures or whatever. So that's, and then a lot of my coaches and like people I looked up to were all like Q dogs.
Yeah, Omega Psi.
So when I went to college, they were showing me like the weight room and the fields, and I'm like, man, where the Qs at? He's like, oh, you talking about the purple guys? They're here. I'm like, all right, cool. I can come to y'all school then.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Cool. That's what's up. That was big for me. Like the fact that Penn State had the Qs up there, I was like, oh yeah, all right, I can come here now for sure.
So you had tons of success at Penn State, clearly on the field. Like we say, you're a second-round pick, so that was no small.
Not first, like y'all, you 2 overall.
It's only 2 rounds in basketball.
Yeah, it's still first round. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
You know you're going to play. You know you're going to get paid.
Second round, you know you're going to play. Third round, you know you're going to play. In football.
Yeah, football. Fourth round.
You going to play.
Yeah, but it ain't the same type of
second
contract.
round, 57.
It ain't the same type of contract.
But like,
I'm 57. I'm 57.
Yeah.
And how many guys on your roster in football?
Like 58.
Right. We only 14, 15 of us.
Yeah.
So it's even harder.
No, I'm saying the equivalent. Like if you get drafted in the second round, it's like getting drafted in the first round.
Yeah, basically.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't.
For sure.
You were number 9. You were number 2 overall. That's pretty good.
I mean, shit happens.
Nah, you got what, 10 in?
I got 10 in, and you got double that.
Yeah, he ain't want to do 20.
He didn't want to do 20.
Scared.
But when you first got drafted and everything, you got drafted to Dre's favorite team, the 49ers.
Yeah, I got some issues with you.
Man.
I got some issues with you.
With me?
Yeah, because it's like you play for the Niners, but you talk more about the Bears. But you play longer for the Niners.
I'm employed by the Bears.
You were.
No, I am.
He still works for the Bears.
I'm on my 10th season.
You still with
doing
him.
Inside the Bears.
Yes.
So, and I live out here.
This is true.
So
this is true.
I love the 49ers. I mean, they're the reason I was able to be a good Chicago Bear because of everything I learned from Bryant Young and Julian Peterson and Jeremy Newberry and Flanagan and like everybody, bro. Everybody was like, it was like a bunch of old vets there, man.
Yeah.
And they took care of me, dog. Like, dog, it's nothing like being like a 23-year-old and then seeing people like married with kids and stuff like that who would like go out on the field and just bull rush you. You like, dog, these is grown men, dog. Like kids, like your kid is 8 years old. Like, yeah, me. Like, and you in Bible study and like I'll look at BY, dog, and see like all the moves and everything he'll put on people and like just how we would bull rush people and then like lead us in Bible study. I'm like, dog, who is this guy, man? Like this guy, and he Hall of Famer.
That's always what I wanted to know is how you flip that switch in football.
Man.
Like, because you in the trenches.
You got to understand that it ain't your fault that I just lost out there. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to like, when you're on the field, you're on the grass, you get down in the stands, then it's like you can physically beat a person's head and don't got to worry about the police. Like whatever is wrong with you, you can take it out on somebody and people would cheer for that. Like I could like take my forearm and put it in your neck and like people be like, yes. And so like, it's just like a great, like it's like boxing, like it's like a release, man. You know what I'm saying? So football is like, I love it, man. Like I was able to let loose a lot of aggression out on people, man. It was lovely, dog. I love it. And I love everything everybody hate. Like training camp, like, you know, going up against a center and a guard. Like I got double teamed like my whole career. And I was like, let's go. If you tell a 3 technique, the guy who played next to me, if you tell him to play nose guard, he'll be like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Like it's like a thankless position, dog. It's like people who do the dirty work. Don't nobody want to do the dirty work.
No, me and Kevon Looney, we know what
I love doing that.
So one off season, you were like the most valuable free agent, right?
No, not me. No. I was like
I mean, for those intangibles, when you went to the Bears, that's what they really wanted, right? Wanting, you know, the position that you brought to the team.
No, I ain't even go make myself seem like that.
Yeah.
That was just they were just filling the void that they didn't have, man.
But you played for Lovie Smith during that tenure, right?
Yeah,
and that was was some of our highest times in our.
When you hit free agency like March 1st at 12 a.m. and your phone ain't ringing. You ain't the first tier guy.
Yeah. And
then, so the first tier goes that first week, phone ringing off the hook. Mine wasn't ringing off the hook. Then the second tier go like that next week. And then you got to wait till like people get hurt or injured or something like that. And then they call you. And I was more like a 3rd or 4th tier type guy. So they signed me like for a 2-year deal just to see like how I would do. And then they're like, all right, this guy, you know, he kind of all right. Like he deserve another contract. And they give me another contract. So I ended up playing here for 5 years after doing 4 with the 49ers.
That's a long time in football.
It is a long time.
And so, but walk me through that mentality and the mindset you had to have being in the position that you are saying that the type of player you are. It's like, so how do you plan for the future? What's it like going to practice every day? Yeah. What's it like, I'm gonna get the short end of the stick. Like, how do you keep the same passion, the same appreciation for yourself and like just keep holding yourself to a high standard, knowing like, I'm not as valued as they think?
Well, I know how to play. You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of good coaching throughout the years, and I hustle. So, and that's what you got to do when you get out there, man. You just got to hustle. You got to make things happen. You got to make plays. You got to be in a position where people can trust you. And so once I got that trust of a Lance Briggs, of a Peanut Tillman, a Tommy Harris, Brian Urlacher, then they like, all right, I know this guy is going to always be where he needs to be. And so it's not going to be any gray area.
Yep.
Like, so, and once you get that trust from people, then you become a system guy. Then y'all know what that is.
Yes.
Like, you run a triangle offense, we need this guy.
Yes.
If you run this offense, we need this guy. So I was like one of those guys that you can plug in that 4-3 scheme that we was in. And I understood the scheme of the defense. And I never, like, I'm a textbook guy. Yeah. Like, you want me to be in A gap? That's where I'm going to be. You want me to be in B gap? That's where I'm going to be. And if I'm not going to be there, I'm on my way. And I'm going to get there by any means necessary. If I got to make a pile, if I got to dive to get there, whatever I got to do, like, I'm laying my body out on the line and I'm going to be in my gap. So,
yeah. And then, walk me through, you had one of my favorite videos of yours is when you're explaining the different types of guys after the last loss of the season. The teams that don't make the playoffs, right?
Cancun on 3.
The guy that was going to debate. He was like, where you going? I'm going to debate. Where? You going to Cali? Are you going to Cali? No, debate. You mean Dubai? No, first thing, did that really happen?
Yeah.
Oh.
There be people who don't even know how to say stuff. I'm going to Antigua. Like, it's Antigua. So, like, if you going to the place, you should at least know how to say it. You know what I mean? Like, people be, dog, it's funny, man, how you just, and then we got 58 players. Yeah. So it's like, you can kind of see how different people is. Like, some people been ready to go since week 9. Some people know they're going to get released. Some people know they're going to a different team. Some people looking forward to next year. Some people are worried about what they're going to do for the offseason, how they're going to train, how they're going to eat. And some players just don't care. They're just like, I'm getting paid. So, like, it is what it is. So, and I've been around long enough where I just observe everybody, man. That's how I make all my videos. Right. Like, if I'm doing like an old head character, it's probably like one of my uncles or my dad. Like, for instance, we went to go see Superman. And my dad come upstairs, dog. He had on a white suit with like sequins on it. And he had on this belt, this black belt that had like all type of rhinestones on it. And I'm like, Dad, we going to Spider-Man, dog. Like, this is like a 3-hour movie, dog. Like, you gonna be in there? I say, Dad, where are you going? He said, to the top. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, I can't even argue with that. You're right, man. I said, man, how many stones you got? How many diamonds you got on your belt? He said, 273. That man counted each one. But I guess that's where I get it from, man.
So one of your more successful characters is Creamy Big
Yeah,
Ones,
Creamy
right?
Big
One of the
Ones,
best
man.
ballers in the world.
Yeah,
you said he's somewhat created off some of past family members and everything like that. So when did that come about? And are you shocked off some of the success you got? Because that's the ones that get you the most endorsements.
I didn't even
want All-Star games, everything.
I didn't even want to do it, man. It was stupid. It was just sitting in the back of my phone, dog. It was like a July or June or something like that. It was hot. I was in my garage just doing all these moves, like not even on like a court or nothing like that. Just in the garage, like doing moves. And I was like, this is stupid. It just stayed on my phone. So this was when the Cavs were playing you guys at Golden State, I think, and during the finals. So I was like, man, I'm going to put this video out. I'm about to go to sleep. we were at a track meet. My son was playing in like Indiana somewhere, Ball State or something like that. And he was had a track meet. So I was like dozing off. I was like, man, I'm gonna put this video up, man, and just slap finals on it or whatever. So I put it out, fell asleep, and then I'm waking up, like getting all these notifications. Like all my friends like, yo, Kevin Hart just posted your video. So I'm like, man, that man's a full-fledged movie star. Like he didn't put my video on his page. Like maybe he commented on my video or something like that, but I'll go to his page and it's on there. So then when he posted it, then House of Highlights post, then Ludacris, Snoop Dogg, Jamie Foxx, like some of everybody. So I was like, dang, like I'm gonna have to make an account for him for somebody to steal it and all that type of stuff. So I made an account for Kareem Biggums. He got like over 300,000 followers. I was on, was it 2K19?
Yep.
I was
NBA Live 2020.
Dog, I flew out to Canada because they didn't have like a body type like mine. They thought they could just insert a different.
Vancouver.
Dog, I was in there like doing jab steps. Like I was in that thing for like 3 hours. I was cramping up. I was like, God, how much more y'all need? So we was doing that, and dog, the rating came out. I was like 89. Like I'm dunking on people and all that stuff. Very realistic. But I didn't even want to do it, bro. I had put it out, and then I was just like, dang, I got something with this character.
And
right
that segue, into you meeting Shaquille O'Neal, which
Yeah.
you both are hosting.
That's my dog, man.
The big podcast. Going to how you met Shaq and how you've been able to make an organic, relationship with him.
I met Shaq. We were doing a Kellogg's event for like March Madness or Final Four or something like that. And it was like Cheez-Its and Pringles. I was thinking it was Shaq. And then Magic Johnson was coach of my team. Yep. Shaq was coaching the other team. And when he met me, he was like, dog, I follow you, whatever, da, da, da. I was like, oh, shoot, that's cool, man. And then, he's a Q, I'm a Q. He was like, man, we're going to do something together. And so, when people tell you that,
both,
you like,
you crossed when you were in college?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, yeah, man, we're going to work. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But then he came with the podcast. I was like, oh, snap, like, this is real. Like, it's happening. So we did the podcast for, I think, like 2 seasons. So we got to have y'all on there, man. You know what I'm saying? How long y'all were teammates? Like 2-3 years?
Like 2 or 3.
It was 2 years.
Felt like forever.
Was Iggy a good teammate?
Iggy was a very good teammate. He was a good vet. No. I'm saying like Iggy, when you break it down, like sometimes he'll bother the shit out you and like harass.
I'm like you.
Yeah, like he'll harass you nonstop. You come in the locker room, like eyes are your shoes is going. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Let me see your phone. He go through all your pictures. Like, you know what I'm saying? You fall asleep on the plane. He'll take a picture with you with your hand in your pants.
That's like, all the stuff you miss when you're done.
Oh no, for sure. And it's one of those things where you comprehend it, to keep your humor as you get older. Yeah. But, one thing that he was just a great leader and, somebody that was accountable. So.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm saying, Spice, on a more serious note, clearly your post-playing career kind of has a different representation of, sometimes of what it goes to be an athlete. Sometimes with football players, you'll see people in your position and sometimes you'll see people that are suffering from, the issues of playing football for so long. So, what do you want your platform to really say or represent as a former NFL player where the conversation is so heavy CTE, not to let our kids play this sport and so on and so forth? And, what have you done also in order, sometimes when you see those situations to kind of try to speak out?
Yeah, I honestly didn't want my son to play football, but I didn't want him to resent me. You know what I'm saying? So by the time he turned 14, I let it be his decision of if he want to play or not. I'm like, dog, I don't want your fingers and your hands to be looking like how mine look. You know what I'm saying? And my back is hurting right now, my knees, like all this stuff. Like, I don't want you to feel like that. But, I ain't want him to resent me because, I played football and, I got all those lessons and everything that I learned from, being 14 all the way up to now. So I didn't want him to resent me. So he's playing now. But, that the platform that I have is just like a lane that, I'm creating, and it's a road less traveled, because usually guys may want to go into coaching or they may want to be an analyst or a commentator or something like that. And, I just want to entertain. I want people around me to have a good time. And, I always been like that. But, I think as long as you find something that you're passionate about, like I'm passionate about entertaining people. Yeah. That's just what I like to do. I like to have a good time. And I found my niche. You know what I'm saying? If you could find whatever it is that's your niche, that you're passionate about, then that's a win. Like, you're gonna be successful. Like, I found something that I'm just as passionate about football. You know what I'm saying? So I'm having a good time doing it. And I like the future. I kind of like look at it as it's just spontaneous. Like, I don't know what God has in store for me, but I'm excited for it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of times things happen to me and I just sit back like, God is handling like all of this. Because there's no way, like, for instance, last week, I did a fashion show for Toby Wigway in Milan.
Oh, wow.
But at the time, I was in Manchester. I was in Manchester because the Bears had a watch party out there. So I flew out to Manchester and Toby was like, hey, man, I want you to be in this fashion show and it's in Milan. And I'm like, dog, I'm in Manchester. He's like, perfect. I'm like, what do you mean perfect? So I flew from Manchester to Milan. Fresh from, like, when we landed, I went straight to rehearsal. And so he had like Q Dogs in his fashion show for Montclair because Pharrell has a line. But Pharrell makes clothes for dogs too. So Toby was the creative director of the whole fashion show.
Oh, wow.
And so with him knowing that, he's like, what better people to have than Q Dogs?
Right.
Oh, that's
so
crazy.
I was part of the step show in there. Of course, I came in at the tail end because he had some young brothers there that was, and I'm like, dog, I can't, that's like high impact. Like, he just came, let me come in on the tail end of the joint, you know what I mean? So
shout out to Anthony Vereen. He's a coach for the Warriors.
Okay,
doing his
yeah,
thing.
cute.
He'll do his joint every now and again. He hear that music, he can't help himself. He go.
Dog, they used to set me up like that a lot of times in locker room, dog. Like, y'all be fresh out of 2-a-day practice, something like that. Oh, come on, dog. Come on, man. Yeah, so I love the locker room, man. But I'm having a good time, dog. I'm just out here being me, man. So
beautiful. So what can we look for next? I know I saw you in Old Spice. You know,
that's a good look,
it
man.
feels like you. It feels like you created it, though. It feels like you, and I'm like, you got your touch on it. And so, what can we look forward to seeing from you? And then, what are your like biggest goals? You know, next 5 years.
You know what, man? I just like to like piggyback off of what people are doing. You know, I look at a Kevin Hart or I look at a Michael Strahan or Shaq or somebody like that, and these people that I can call and I can text and say, hey, man, what you think about this? What you think about me making this move and stuff like that? And so I got 4 kids. So, you know, you got to make it happen. Like when I retired, I was like, dog, what am I going to do? Like all the money you get, like you got to make it stretch. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get this lump sum of money and you got to make it stretch. And when you got like all your money going out and nothing coming in, you like, dog, like you can only do appearances like really during the season. Right. So like in the off season, it's like, fam, like what am I gonna do, right? So, you know, I found social media and everything, and I've just been grinding ever since. So what's gonna happen in the future, I really don't know, man. I don't know if it's gonna be acting. I don't know if, if it's gonna be me being a rapper. Or like, no, I don't know, man, but I'm ready for it all, man. Everybody come holler at me, man. Like, it's hard out here, man, doing this independently, man. I ain't part of no agency or nothing, man. It's just me. So come find me, man. We up here on the rooftop, man. This is nice, man. We in Chicago. Hey, man. Hey, mama. We got POP, baby. Hold it down.
No, but no, you don't have an agent for real?
Say that again?
You don't have an agent for real?
No, I got an agent. I'm not part of an agency. Right?
Oh, you got an okay.
We done had meetings everywhere.
No, I know. I'm just making sure. Yeah, because I got
you got some people you
I got a little something.
I done did Ballers. I did second season of Ballers. I did Detroiters, Comedy Central. So I'll be out here working, bro.
And then you was hosting
dog, I hosted Essence Fest, dog.
That's
that's crazy.
That was cool. I saw that. I remember that.
I hosted Essence Fest with Afion Crockett.
Yeah, that was
the cool thing about Afion, we had never met. We had did the Versus.
The Versus.
We did the After Versus for like 2 years and never even met.
Oh, y'all didn't meet after y'all were doing that?
The first time we met, he picked me up from J.W. Marriott in Los Angeles, I'll never forget, and took me over to Dr. Dre house.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, fam. He's like, dog, we're gonna go see Dre. So I'm like, who's Dre, your homeboy? Like, who's Dre? And so we just driving. Next thing you know, we started like going up and my ears started popping. And I'm like, dog, where are we going, dog? We went past like 3 sets of security guards. And then we like go across this pond, like a bridge on a pond. I'm like, dog, we had an outdoor mall? Dog, this was Dre's house, dog. And then you like get out the car, walk down this spiral staircase. It's another dude, like big old dude there, like, oh, okay, Afion, all right, you got your boy with you. We walk in, it's like something that looked like this, dog. And with TVs and all type of candy and stuff like that. And I'm like, dog, this is cool. And then you open the door, it's like a hallway. Then it's another door you open. So I open that door, and Dre's like, this guy. I'm like, what you mean this guy? Like Dr. Dre? Yeah. This is crazy. So we in the studio. He rapping. He's like, dog, what you think I should say on this verse? I'm like, what? Say whatever you want. Like, what you talking about? Dog, this is Dre. Like, it's crazy, dog. So shout out to Afion, man. That's my dog.
No, this is my last question for real. How are y'all finding these outfits so damn fast on the after verses?
Damn, you should see my closet.
Yeah.
It's Roy G. Biv in that thing, man. Red, orange, what is Roy? Yellow. Dog. Roy G.
Blue, indigo,
Biv in
violet.
that thing, dog. Gators, everything. Man, I got a whole room. It's just organized confusion. So you walk in a room, I know where everything is, man. I know where like the pimp suits is. I know where all my robes is. I know where like I had a wrestling character named Stretch Mark Simmons. I got all type of stuff. The WWE come here, dog? Oh, man. You can't tell me I ain't a wrestler, dog. I be wrestling. I'm off the top turnbuckle.
Like Mark Henry?
Man, for real, dog. You got to take it. Dog, I seen them backstage, man. It smelled like a lot of Bengay and peppermint and stuff like that. And them ones be walking around there like, and some of them you don't even know who they is. So, like, you know they've been on the grind for years. They be walking with the hunchback. Man, I ain't waiting for this medicine to kick in, man. I'm going out there, man. Round 3, man. We're going to do this here, right? And then, DDT. All right. They going over, like, how they going to wrestle. Dog, it is serious, bro. Like that WWE. And I don't think they got a union. So they just out there, just off of 30 feet in the air, just landing on their back. Like, dog, it ain't no joke. Somebody need to do a documentary. I'm gonna need a 30 for 30 on it. I might be talking too much.
No, I feel like they already tried.
Everyone trying to steal our idea, dog. This is our idea.
Everybody's striking right now, so the union thing is a sensitive subject. Y'all
got money, so you.
No, but the auto industry is striking. SAG, I mean, the actors and the writers, they striking. There's a lot of striking going. They trying to figure out what's the wrong way to strike. We're gonna figure out the right way.
So before we dip, man, you think our Bears gonna be straight? Justin Fields gonna be smooth? You said last year you started franchise with him, no? All right, then that's it then.
Remember the greatest cry ever? I still love you. Oh, Bears, man. Oh. That's my answer right there.
I feel that. Wow.
God, man.
Well, Spice Adams.
How you gonna end on that note?
I really wanted to know, bro.
I don't know,
We're gonna cut this. But
I don't know,
Spice, once again, thanks for pulling up. Thanks for giving us your time.
Yes, sir.
Your energy. And then, once again, all the great stuff you got coming forward.
Dude, shout out to Thanos, man. He made got every stone.
It's nothing. It's all fake, baby. It's all fake. It's fake, man. It's fake. It's an heirloom, bro.
No, man,
I told you. My granddad gave it.
Turn the music on. Everybody quiet, man. It's a party. It's a celebration.